Hey everybody, this is Mr. Steele. So I wanted to show you today how to draw a landscape. So this project is called Draw the View Outside Your Window. Some of you are on vacation. I've met with you on your Zoom meetings and you told me that you were at the beach or you were getting ready to go somewhere. So this could actually be a landscape of where you would like to go as well. But if not, you could just look out your window and you could see the beauty outside your window. I love looking outside my window. In fact, I love looking outside of my backyard. I have these beautiful pine trees in the backyard that are really tall, and so they're really pretty. But I also like the view outside the front window, and I drew the view outside the front window here. So you can see I drew the tree in my front yard, and then my neighbors across the street, I drew their house and their tree, and I drew a tree there. Now, I've drawn this and I've shown my first graders how to do this, where they drew trees that look like they're going far away. It looks like it's hard to draw, but it's really not that hard to draw. So I want to show you how to do it, okay? So, let's find a blank page in my handy dandy sketchbook. All right. So, the first thing you need to know is that there really aren't any straight lines in nature. Most of the things we find in nature are very organic. They're free-flowing. They're not really straight edges. Now, you might find some things, but most things are just naturally flowing. So you don't really need to get a ruler out for this project. So to draw a tree that is close to you, you want to first start by drawing a horizon line. So if those of you that have listened to me in class, and you may remember, a horizon line is the line that separates the sky from the ground. So if you go to the beach and you look out at the water, there's a line. It's not a real line, but there's a place where the water stops and the sky starts. That divide is the horizon line. So you may hear someone say, I'm looking out on the horizon. That is the horizon line. And you can have multiple horizon lines, and they are at your eye level mostly. So I am going to draw a horizon line that's going to go from one side of my paper to the other. You notice that my paper is horizontal, okay? So if you were on a computer, horizontal would be the same thing as landscape. So landscape meaning that you're showing a wide angle so you can see a big long view. So I just drew a line. Notice I did not use a ruler. It's just a nice line, okay? Now I'm gonna draw my first tree. The tree that lives on this line, and notice that this line, by the way, is at the bottom of my paper. It's not up here. It's toward the bottom, okay? So this tree is going to be larger than the others. And I simply start by drawing two parallel lines. They're slightly curved, but they are parallel to each other. And parallel means they're across from each other and they never cross, they never intersect. Okay, so I just drew two lines. And now I'm going to think about two letters. The letter Y, which goes out like that, and then the letter V, which also does the same thing without the stem. Okay, so the letter Y, we're going to start with that first. So I'm going to draw two diagonal lines going out from those two lines. So they're going out like this. And I will hold that up so you can see it. So it makes a Y shape. It looks like the letter Y, okay? And then I'm going to draw two parallel lines right above that. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So I drew two other lines right above the two lines that I drew. So there is a little bit of a space there. So I have two lines going out and then two lines above. And then I'm going to turn those two lines into the letter V. And so I'm going to go up and I'm going to go up. So now I have two letter V's. See the letter V, and then I had the big Y. And you just made a tree. Now, of course, if you wanted more branches, you can add more V's and Y's, but we can just stick to those two. And so what I'm now going to do is I'm going to close off the opening. So you'll notice here that it's open at the top of those spaces. I want to close those. And so I'm going to close those with a very jagged line. Remember, nothing in nature is straight. And we want this to be a tree. We want these to mimic a leaf or the leaf pattern. So we're going to make them kind of bumpy and jagged. So I'm going to close them with a bumpy, jagged line. Now I'll show you how that looks. So it looks like that. Okay. Now we're going to do that same thing, but in a circle. Kind of like an afro, kind of like my afro. Okay. So we're going to go around in a circle around a tree. But make it bumpy. Make this line bumpy. You don't want it to be a perfect circle. In fact, it should not be a perfect circle. So you can see where I drew that around the tree. So if I had more paper, it would go up here and come back around and make a circle. All right. Now I can just draw little squiggly lines on the tree to kind of indicate that there are more leaves there. All right. So that's my first tree. Okay. Now I'm going to draw a second horizon line. And this one is going to be a little bit further up. But I can't cut through my tree. I don't want to slice that tree in half. So as I draw that line, when that line hits the tree, it has to stop. And then it has to jump over the tree, and then it's going to keep going. Okay? So I'm going to draw my line. And I'm going to try to stand it up and draw it so you can see it. So I'm going to start here. And I'm going to go, 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 go. And then I'm going to stop. And I'm going to jump over the tree. And I'm going to go, 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 all the way across. And again, it doesn't have to be straight. All the way across to the other side. But you'll notice how I did not draw through my tree. I left that empty. Okay? Now, on this line will live a much smaller tree. It's not as big as the one we just drew, but we draw it the same exact way. We just don't draw it as big because we want to create the illusion that it's further away. It's not close to us, okay? So I'm going to draw that tree. I start with my two lines. So remember those two parallel lines, okay? Look how much smaller that tree is. That one's big, that one's a little smaller. Okay, I'm going to go out to make my Y. So there's the Y. And I'm going to make my two V's. So two lines and then go out to make the two V's. So it makes that tree. And this time you will make a full afro shape around it. So it's just like that circle, really bumpy, all the way around the tree. And now you have an even smaller tree. And it looks like it's further away. Okay? Now, this tree that you're drawing doesn't have to be the type of tree that I'm drawing. If you want to draw an evergreen tree, you can. If you want to draw a palm tree, you can. It depends on where you are, what region you are in. If you're looking outside at a different type of landscape. Okay? You can draw bushes if you want to. You can put bushes beside the tree. If you want to draw a playground, you could draw a playground. If you wanted to draw water, you could draw water. I am going to draw another house. And so you could draw a house, maybe the house across the street. And all I do with houses is I keep everything basic shapes. Rectangles, squares, triangles. That's all a house is, okay? So I'm going to start off with an open rectangle. And I want to draw it lightly because I might have to erase some parts of it as I add more to it. But I did an open rectangle. So it's just two lines and I didn't close it at the top, okay? Because I'm going to close it at the top with a triangle. So I'm just going to go up and come back down and close it with a triangle. So it looks like a house, a regular house you would draw. Now, what if this house has a garage like the one that I had on the other picture? Well, beside that rectangle, I might want to draw a smaller square. So you see that little square that I'm drawing right there. But again, I didn't close it because I'm going to close it with a triangle. And so I close it with a triangle, and it makes a little small garage. All right. Or it could be another house. You know, it could be you might not want them that close together. I don't know if you want your neighbors that close to you, but it could be another house. And so I can close that. And I'm just adding some windows to it. Windows are just basic squares. You can add some shutters on the side, just rectangles. Again, you doesn't have to be perfect. You're making this landscape up. All right. So I drew that house there. If I want to draw an even smaller tree to make it seem like, maybe there are trees even further away. Then behind there, on that same horizon line, I can draw some smaller trees. And that makes it look like they're even further away. If I wanted to, I might erase that one tree. And maybe that's a park. Maybe you have a park in your neighborhood. I have a little park in my neighborhood. So maybe there is a sliding board that you love to go and slide down and play on, or monkey bars, or a jungle gym, or a merry-go-round. I don't know. I haven't been to a playground in quite some time, but they're quite fun to go to. So maybe you draw that, or maybe a swing set. I do know we have a swing set in my little park up here. It's a rainy day outside, so it's not a great day to go to the park, but yesterday was quite beautiful, and we are in springtime, so you could, draw a park. Maybe that's what you plan on doing this weekend or sometime this week. The sky. Of course, in the sky you have your sun. Now, I know a lot of people like to draw their sun in the corner, and you can if you want to. I like to bring it out into the sky because there really is no corner to our sky in real life. All right. So I like to just draw a circle. And around that circle, I put some rays because the sun is hovering above the sky. All right. So it's just out there. Instead of putting it in the corner, I just bring it out into the picture. And you can bring clouds if you want some clouds in the sky, birds, a plane, hot air balloon. If it's your landscape. Okay, so I like to see you color it, and I like to see what kind of landscape you come up with. If it's a beach scene, that would be beautiful to see that. If it is a mountain scene, maybe some of you are in the mountains. I know that Miss Ingalls said that she was in the mountains, visiting her son and her family. So maybe you may choose to draw yourself in the mountains, or maybe you may choose to draw yourself in a different city, and maybe there are some different things there that you remember, or maybe you may look it up and you may remember. Maybe you might draw the Eiffel Tower. Maybe you're in Paris. I mean, that would be a lovely scenery to wake up to. But when you get done, I would like to see it all colored, pretty, different trees, different sizes, and send them in to me so I can post them onto my Facebook page. All right, you guys. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.